we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Now. It's 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
for 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, you get reminded, don't you? I mean, you know you love it. You know you look forward to it. You know you enjoy it. But when you get a college football weekend, and they're all like this, like we're going to sit here and talk about all kinds of different things. But when you get that, and every window and so many games, and you're like, holy bleep, is that something else? Wow, that was great. Wow, that was great. Wow. Oh, my goodness, did you see that? You remember why we love it so much. Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you had a great Labor Day weekend. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We got a whole lot to get through coming off a Labor Day weekend, a whole lot of college football. I mean, great stuff. Great stuff. But as we do on Tuesdays, we will start with what New Mexico State did and catch up with Tony Sanchez. Aggies opened up their season in Las Cruces by outgaining Southeast Missouri State 352 to 270 in total yards. They get a late touchdown by Seth McGowan, and they win 23-16 to go to 1-0 on the season. It's the first win as a head coach of his alma mater for Tony Sanchez, the head coach down at New Mexico State, who joins us this morning with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Tony, congratulations. 1-0 feels, I got to believe, feels really good. How you living?
You know what? Doing good here in the office. Just getting ready for a special teams meeting and, hitting the field here in a little bit, getting ready for Liberty. But, yeah, it is good to be 1-0. Wasn't the prettiest game, but at the end of the day, you want to make sure you get, check off that the victory box, which is a good thing. And now we got to see substantial improvement between week 1 and week 2, but we're fired up and ready to go.
What did you expect out of SEMO? Was it more about what the uncertainties about your team, what you were going to learn about your team? Did you know what they were going to bring? Because obviously this was a hard-fought, tight game that you had to win late.
Yeah, early in the game, it was one of those deals where, defense played really well. We extended one of their drives with the roughing the passer that was really questionable. One of our guys kind of got thrown into the quarterback, but, you see how those things get missed once in a while. And that extended a drive. We had one miscommunication on defense, and one too many, where they had a wide-open guy for the touchdown. I mean, it's just total blown coverage. Other than that, the defense was pretty lights out all night. They did a really good job. Offensively, we were able to run the ball, but it was tough sledding. I mean, it was 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, which is good, but we didn't have a lot of explosives early in the game. And then, we struggled throwing the ball a little bit. And, it's funny, off the hook, you're just really frustrated, and you come back and you watch the film, and, our first third down, quarterback makes a great read, throws the ball, gets batted down. We had a protection breakdown where, again, we have a wide open guy, and, quarterback got flushed and throws a nice ball into the corner of the end zone on a fade, and receiver drops the ball. So it's like there's a lot of little things that happen early that could have given, Parker a lot more kind of mojo, so to speak, get him going a little bit. And all those things kind of got in the way. But at the end of the day, we're on the way to, get a great fourth down stop and get a win and move on.
Tony, I got to believe on the sidelines, right? You're going in the fourth quarter, you're down 13-10. This thing's going to go one way or the other. And you don't want to be down 13-10, especially, to an FCS team. But do you learn a lot about your team, how they rally? Because they could have gone one way or the other, and obviously they went the way you needed them to go, scoring 13 points to win the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we were just really calm about it on the sideline. Nobody panicked. Nobody was pointing fingers. Everybody just kind of kept working the problem. And, and it allowed me to, to make some decisions based on the demeanor of the team. I mean, at the end, and rather than going for it, we punted it. We pinned them down on the 1 yard line, got the safety, and then got the ball back. We again, as the clock's ticking, we're down to like 6 minutes left. And, instead of, worrying about it, panicking, we just kicked the field goal again to shorten it, make it a, closer, make it a 1 point game. And then we got the ball back again, and we were able to go down and score. So, I mean, again, when you got a team that, has a good demeanor about them, and, nobody's panicking, everyone just keeps playing, it allowed us to make some good decisions to go ahead and just kind of, get and fight for the for the win at the end, and we were able to do it. So, I mean, again, it was good. And, you look around all college football, and some of the scores are just like, wow, you expect Oregon to really get after Idaho, and that don't happen. And, you look at teams in our conference, like Middle Tennessee, and, the way that game worked out. It's, at the end of the day, you just got to find a way to win, and then, again, between week 1 and week 2, this is where you should see your most growth. You should really see, I think we figured some things out. We've kind of identified some issues. Hopefully we've addressed them, and we'll be better at them this Saturday.
Again, football coach Tony Sanchez joining us on The Sports Animal. And, Tony, you've talked about the talent in your running back room, and you just addressed some of the stuff in the passing game. But what's it like to be able to have that kind of rushing game as you continue to develop the quarterback in the passing game?
Well, and I kind of alluded to it last week. Those guys are special. I mean, they really are. I mean, Mike Washington, he had some good, hard, yards and did a really good job. Seth McGowan, he's just, man, that's the first time, been able to coach him and watch him live. And, man, he's a violent runner, and he's explosive. Monte Watkins. I mean, those three guys, and we've got some other guys behind him, but those three guys are pretty special. So we get the passing game going, and, and you can't, just load that box up. And, you get some balanced fronts up there. They're going to people fit. I mean, those guys are special guys. So we got to find a way to get those guys into some space, give them some easier opportunities to be explosive. And that's probably the biggest thing in this game. We got to create some more explosives, but those guys give us great opportunity.
Well, the plays that made it in the fourth quarter by your team, your redshirt freshman Tatum Barnes stepped up, had the interception, but he also led your team in tackles, Conference USA Defensive Player of the Week. What did he mean to that unit?
Tatum just got such great energy. He's a young kid, redshirt freshman. Played every single snap on defense, probably a couple too many snaps. But his energy, again, his energy, his demeanor on the sideline, just, being a guy who's been around here the last 2 years, it meant a lot. I mean, again, our guys just kept playing hard. It's great having, older guys too, because right before the snap, they line up in a formation which they normally roll out in. And Dylan Early, who's been around here for 5 years, he checked the defense right before the snap and rolled Tatum down and was able to put him in position to make the pick. So, again, having some of that veteran experience really makes a big difference in those crucial situations.
Tony, how do you feel about quarterback play?
I think we got to get better there. I don't think we gave him enough. I think as a staff we have to do a better job of creating some easier throws early in the game. And the kid's 19 years old, and he's a freshman, out there. And you watch him, running around in his first Division I game, and, he missed some early RPO throws where he handed it off. He probably could have spit it out, kind of got his confidence going. But as I alluded to in that first quarter, he made some good decisions, and you had 2 balls batted down. You had a protection breakdown that flushed him out of the pocket. You had a drop touchdown on the fade, and, and then, we have 2 pass interference penalties where we throw some nice balls, and, it's great to get the PI, but it's like, you get a whole different, sense of energy and juice if you complete those things. So we just got to settle down. Don't panic. Again, just keep coaching them up and make sure we're getting that whole room ready to go.
Tony Sanchez is New Mexico State's football coach with us just for a few more minutes. It gets different this weekend. Not only is it a conference opener, it's a team you know well. You played them twice last year. You played them in the conference championship game. Liberty was a 41-24 winner over Campbell in their opener. They're coming into your place. You get maybe your biggest conference game of the year to open up conference play next week.
No, there's no doubt about it. I mean, when you look at our schedule, they might be the best team on our schedule, and we played Texas A&M this year. I mean, they're a team that played in the New Year's Day game last year against Oregon. Caden Salter, Conference Player of the Year, is our quarterback. They have a dynamic running back there. Again, a veteran group, and Coach Shadwell does a fantastic job. And same thing. Week 1, they look pretty good. I mean, they had a 27-17 ball game going into the fourth quarter. So again, we all figured it out week 1, but they'll be much better this week, just as we're supposed to be. And the biggest question is going to be defensively. We got thrashed last year. We gave up 700 yards against them in the championship game and a ton of points. So we have to be better on defense for sure. And then we're going to have to find a way to be able to run the ball. We kind of gave up the running game a little bit in that championship game against them. We went right, we threw the ball and we gained some yards, and we made it a close game in the fourth quarter. But I think if you're going to beat these guys, you're going to have to be able to dictate the tempo and flow of the game a little bit. You can't let Salter stay out there for the majority of the time. You got to get him off his first read. You can't let him be comfortable back there in the pocket, and then you just got to slow their running game down.
Coach, you mentioned it just a little bit, the Idaho-Oregon game. Heck, we saw Central Arkansas State go back and forth, these tight games between FBS and FCS opponents. I think the way it looks, that's for fans and us talking heads to talk about all week. But how big is it just to find a way to win in the first game of the season?
That's huge. I mean, again, it's like, there's so many guys who sit there down, and I've been there. You sit down after a game and, you play well, you do some really good things, and you just lose a tough game. And then, maybe you don't play as well and you win. I'll take the not playing as well and winning any day of the week. At the end of the day, it's about having more opponents than your opponent. Now, that doesn't mean you're satisfied. I mean, we definitely got to go down. We got to, tighten screws and bolts and make sure that we're getting better and we're challenging ourselves and finding out, what got in the way of us, being more successful. But at the end of the day, you want to win, So, again, I'd rather be in our situation, not playing a perfect game and making it a little too close for comfort with the win rather than having the opposite. So it's a tough game, and when you're coming out of camp, with all these transfers and all these new guys, and first time you're kind of putting it all together, it's going to take a minute to kind of get going. I mean, I think there's a lot of head scratching right now after week one with some of the results, and I think a lot of that has to do with the turnover in the rosters and just kind of getting your team settled down together. So we'll be working at it.
Yeah, lastly, on that vein, you look around your league, and I was stunned the Jacksonville State got handled by Coastal. Didn't know what to expect from Kennesaw State, who's now in your league, and they played really well at UTSA, who a lot of people think may be one of those teams that has an opportunity to get a Group of 5 New Year's Day bowl game. And then Sam Houston just handled Rice. So a couple of really nice wins, or at least performances in the league.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And like I said, I think there's just a lot of uncertainty all over the place, especially if you're, in these non-Power 4 teams. With the amount of turnover, it's like it's the same logo on the jersey, but there's a whole bunch of different bodies inside those uniforms. So, I think, again, we have all this time to talk about sports and talk about teams, and, we've got to fill those air times, which is a good thing. I mean, people care about the game and everything, but there's a lot of questions that are being answered right now because we're just starting to realize who all these teams are, and we're one of those teams included. I like our talent. I think we've got a good ball team. I think we have a chance to have a good football season. It's going to be how fast we gel, how fast we come together, and I think that if you talk to a lot of coaches, they'd be in the same boat. There's very few guys that are really coaching their entire returning team, at our level. So, we're still answering questions just like you guys are finding out answers at the same time.
Well, the nation's going to get to see it on Saturday night down in Las Cruces, an ESPN2 nationally televised game, 8:15. Liberty will be in town. Tony, appreciate it. I know you got a meeting in 3 minutes. Go hit it. We'll catch you next Tuesday. Congratulations on the win, and always thanks for the time.
I appreciate you guys. Go Aggies.
Be well. He's Tony Sanchez, and he's 1-0 as Aggie head coach. Look, find a way to win, right? And I've listened to people, they barely got by him. Look, it happened all around America. Right? And
yes,
some places it didn't happen.
So Texas Tech 1-point win in overtime with Abilene Christian.
Yeah.
Oregon
struggling with Idaho.
Yeah. Get out with the dub.
Get out of there. All right, a ton to do today. Here's what we're doing. Guest list. 8:30 this morning. We're planning on having a conversation with Cam Dyer and Mason Posa of La Cueva. La Cueva Bears went to Arizona, and an insane double overtime win over the 6A Arizona runner-ups from last year. Huge win for New Mexico high school football. Going to do that at 8:30. When we come back, we're going to start at the top. We will get into Lobo football. We will get into everything that happened over the weekend. You've got a kid from Albuquerque, New Mexico, who is the SEC offensive player. That's SEC. The conference with Alabama, Auburn, Georgia. The SEC offensive player of the week is from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Let's open it up at 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on? Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres.
They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make him happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
60610. I got like, I don't even know where to go to start. There's so much to do between the Aggie win, the Lobo game, which I really want to get into deep. The SC LSU game, which I was at, Michigan, Florida State. So 505-246-0610. I'm gonna direct it, but I'll let you, because there's so much, pop in and talk about what you want to talk to. Like John, go ahead. I have a feeling I know where you're going, but good morning, John. How you living?
Aggies, oh Aggies, the hills come back to cry. We're here to do or die. Aggies, oh Aggies, we'll win this game and know the reason why.
Yeah, I thought that's where you were going. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, there we go, man. Man, that was great. I love the interview. If you ever met him in person, he's a very nice gentleman. Yeah. A lot of energy. You can really feel it. And I wish them well. I'm glad to see they're doing well. And I hope that they get a lot of people down there for that Liberty game. I didn't get a chance to see this last game, so I'm living through everybody else's eyes.
As long as you don't have DirecTV, you can watch it on Saturday night on ESPN2.
It's true, I probably could, but I got season tickets, and if I don't use them, I give them to somebody else who can. So Perfect. That's a great way to support a school.
Yes, it is. All right, well, good. Yeah, they're 1-0, and they're off to a good start. We'll do that every Tuesday with Tony.
And, another thing I want to bring up is that their women's soccer team, which I guess would be their version of the sister sport of football, they're kicking ass.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And so is their football on their volleyball team.
So Mike does a great job down there with that volleyball for 2 decades now. He's been doing that. So they got a little run right now, and they're in a good spot. And then let's see what they do with Liberty next week, because that's a big one.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
All right, John. Enjoy it.
Thank you very much for taking them.
No, appreciate you. All right. JJ watched. I was in Vegas this week. I went to that SC LSU game. By the way, dude, I mean,
that was the largest crowd ever at Allegiant Stadium.
Bigger than the concerts and the Raiders game, and it was packed, and going over the bridge back afterwards, going back over to the Mandalay Bay, was just massive humanity. It was insane. But I did come back and watch the Lobos last night, and I'm interested to see where Lobo fan is today. So 61-39 was the number, and Bill had 110 yards. The story was Tetaroa McMillan, who, good Lord, 10 for 304 is what T-Mac had. 10 catches, 304 yards. He had 4 touchdowns. There was just no answer. And we went into this game last week, and I went down the list, and there were 3 guys on the Arizona roster who were in whatever a number of top 25 college football players. So that's a hell of a roster. I will tell you this, I'm not looking for moral victories. Lobo offense looked insanely better than they did the week prior to Montana State. So if you're looking for that week 1 to week 2 bump, I thought they were immensely better. I thought Devin Dampier was terrific. He made the one mistake. He had 2 interceptions. One bounced off of the chest of a receiver. Luke Wysong, where'd that come from? JJ, I know I've questioned, do they have a playmaker? Luke Wysong made some sick catches in the first half. 8 catches, 129 yards. Defensively, obviously, they struggled. They gave up only 212 yards rushing, and I say only 212 because of what happened the week before. I don't know who's going to have an answer for Tetaroa McMillan as we go through the year. We'll watch, and he may end up being one of the top receivers picked in next year's draft. Big, long, fast. I mean, everything you want in a receiver. And I know we didn't get to talk to Bronco this week because those are Monday conversations. We were off Monday. The announcers were questioning some of the one-on-one coverage, and I know you probably were as well as you watched the game. But I came out of that saying, all right, you know what? They went toe-to-toe for a better part of 2.5, 3 quarters with a team that I think is going to be one of the best teams in the ACC.
If you can hang on, Lobo fan. If you can hang on.
That's a
this
great point.
Team has an offense that's going to give itself a chance because the Mountain West teams on Lobo's schedule aren't that daunting at this moment. Devin Dampier played arguably one of the best games he'll ever play as well, with 390 yards of total offense. And I think the thing there is you saw Luke Wysong step up. Someone else is going to step up along the way because Devin Dampier can't do this game in and game out. Because teams are going to change. Teams are going to game plan for him. But you know he has that ability, and that's what you have to hang your hat on. Is this offense going to give you a chance when you get to the Mountain West part of your schedule? It's kind of all over the place right now for these teams because, defensively, you just have to hope that when they're playing a team not named Arizona or Auburn, that they can
Fresno
chip away
State
at
looked
it.
pretty damn good against Michigan, didn't they?
Yeah, Fresno State's going to look good. And then so you get to the Aggies, you get to that later portion of the schedule. If you can hang on, this offense should give you a chance to compete. And just keep your fingers crossed that they can chip away defensively somehow, somewhere.
I think that's right. And you looked at the first part of the schedule and you knew the Montana State game was going to be tough. You didn't know it was going to be, well, maybe you did. And then you knew the stretch they were getting into here, right? You knew this stretch, Arizona, Auburn, Fresno State, and then Fresno State gave Michigan more than they wanted. I mean, more than they wanted. They had a pick 6 late in the game to open that thing up to win by 20, but they were going in it. I mean, if that goes the other way, who knows how that happens? It ends up at the big house with Fresno State. I mean, Fresno State and Mike Keene went out and played a game. They looked really good. But JJ, I agree with you. If you will hang in, because there were a lot of signs. I thought they ran the ball well a number of times. Jacobs was good. Sanders was good. This game was about to have a Dampier.
Well, Eli Sanders averaged 1.9 yards per carry. They could not move the football with their running backs.
I thought Jacobs had a couple of buzz. But, okay, fair. I mean, the numbers aren't there, but what they gained, 216 and 130 of them was Dampier. the catches Weissong made in the first half in traffic, I didn't know he had that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know he had that in him.
It was a week where he took it, he heard it,
yeah,
and he feasted on it. Those were plays he has not made in his career yet. And to have that confidence, and you see Dampier, because some of those plays were, all right, it's broken down, where's Luke? Boom, I'm going to fire it to him. And they have that trust, they have that confidence. That was a huge step forward for Luke Weissong, and that's what you want to see, is how do you respond? And he responded in a big way.
All right, so the question is, Lobo fan, how do you feel? I understand what 0-2 feels like. I understand you're sick of moral victories. I understand that maybe you're tired of hearing, yeah, we're getting better, but you're getting better. And look, JJ hits it right on the head. If you are going to be patient, if you're going to stick around, if you are willing to give it some time, I think you've got some real good glimpses. Now, what about defensively, JJ? You gave up 61 points. And is this an anomaly because that's the best? Okay, am I wrong? The best quarterback receiver combo you will see all year. Even Auburn, even Fresno State, Fafita and McMillan. Like, who's better than that?
It is the best, but it's also back-to-back games where one was a Montana State team that didn't have their best running back
and
that ran for 367 yards.
Yep.
And then it was the complete opposite. Now, the Lobos did lose 2 players in the secondary on the first defensive drive. That's why Noah Polo-Gates, who's playing a lot of football,
and played well,
made some nice plays, which was good to see for that young man.
Tell you what,
because
he had a rough year.
What happened last year, and Bronco Mendenhall kind of addressed that yesterday, which was you want to see that, but there's still so much to go for players like Noah Polo-Gates in that defense. And it's so much easier said than done. Like in the broadcast when we were watching the game back here, Ned and I, as we were waiting to do the halftime show, and he kept double him. Yeah, so much easier said than done, because you got to look at what it means for the rest of the defense.
Well,
in fact, one of their starting linebackers got ejected early in the game for a targeting penalty.
I didn't like that call.
I hate the targeting ejection.
Well, I hate the first ejection that you're 100%. I didn't like that call particularly. I think the rule is garbage. I just it's so bad. A kid's playing football, and the intent was, if you're going to go in and you're going to weaponize your helmet, but dude, it's football and it happens. And
I think it should be like on Sportsman, like where you.
No, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with 15 yards,
like 2, and then all right after that.
I agree. I'm with you on this. The first one should not be.
It's such a penalty to a player and a team, and I understand. Well, they're trying to keep it safe, but there's times where you're not trying to do that, and it happens. It's a sport of football, but there's so much that goes into that. You have a secondary that lost 2 players in the first drive defensively. You're without your starting linebacker. So let's just change absolutely everything and try to roll coverage and bracket. It's much easier said than done when you look at a player like that, because like, I'll press him. And then the thing with McMillan is he's so big, you don't realize how fast he is. He looks slow, but he ain't. He is kind of that Randy Moss-like guy where initially you look at him like, oh, long strides, but then he gets ahead of steam and he's gone. And it was just the big touchdown play. That's all it was. 69-yard touchdown and 17-yard one, nothing there, but 78-yard touchdown. Just the gigantic plays against 3-4 play drives, which
Yeah. All right, Lobo fan, where are you? I really, really curious. Do you feel better? I mean, I understand it's 0-2. I get it. But they went toe-to-toe with the 21st ranked team in the country for pretty much all night. A couple of breaks, the interceptions, one bounced off the guy's chest, turned the game and opened it up. But I never felt they got completely out of control, right? The late third quarter, the game was relatively decided, but you were right there going toe-to-toe. So I want to get into that with you to see where you are. 505-246-0610 is how to get here today. That's the Sports Animal phone line and text line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com. JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Adrian's producing on TV, Xfinity Channel 26, and on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. When we come back, SEC Offensive Player of the Week. That's it wasn't from Alabama. He wasn't from Georgia. He wasn't from Florida or Tennessee. SEC Offensive Player of the Week from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Wait, how can that be? Explain it when we come back. Planning parties. It's now September. It's time for you to start planning holiday parties. It's time to start figuring out all kinds of whatever you got. You've got a event, a big event, a middle-sized event, any event. It's important to you. Take care of it and do it at the Albuquerque Convention Center. They have 600,000 square feet of versatile, wonderful space. They will take care of any celebration that you've got, from intimate dinners and gatherings to socials and galas to staff and service and beverage and food options. It'll exceed expectation, and everyone who's there is going to love it. Their team's got you covered, from beautiful, customizable dining sets, sophisticated, extravagant food and beverage menu, and their staff is experts. That's why we, the Exotica New Mexico Bowl, host an event there every year. They take care of our people. We go back every year. I know you've been there, parking adjacent. Call them, figure out how to make your event wonderful. Be at the center of it all. The number's 505-768-4575, 505-768-4575, or go online to the Albuquerque Convention Center's website. It's albuquerquecc.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Vital. I think I thought this was bigger than Brandon Ayuk for the Niners.
Yes, and you get to this point and you realize it was a 36-year-old dude who wanted guaranteed money on his contract.
Yep.
But also didn't have to go through training camp.
And he shows up 2 days, well, for them about 5 days before camp. So that's big. All right. I was at did you watch the Vanderbilt Virginia Tech game? Was that on your radar Saturday afternoon?
It was one of the better games in the early window.
It was, and the Georgia-Clemson game was the marquee game, but that game got out of control. I was on the plane watching that game. And then it went to overtime as I got off, and then I saw the highlights later, and I was at a dinner on Saturday night, and 3 people started their conversation with me. Did you see that quarterback that transferred from New Mexico State for the Vandy game? Diego Pavia was Diego Pavia, wasn't he? I mean, I don't know how else to say it. When he transferred to Vanderbilt, I think a lot of us wondered, would he play? They had a quarterback transferring from Utah. There was a lot of talk, was he even going to get in academically? He had to clean up some stuff down at New Mexico State. Diego Pavia went in, and they were big underdogs at home. JJ, I think it was 63 games that they had not come from behind when they were trailing in the fourth quarter and won. And he was sensational. 34-27, Vanderbilt beat Virginia Tech in overtime. Pavia was 12 of 16 in the air for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. He carried the ball 26 times for 104 yards, ran for a touchdown. He was named the SEC, that's right, SEC, Player of the Week offensively in his first game in the SEC. Like, whatever you want to say about that young man, and I know how Lobo fan feels about him, and you have every right to feel that way about him. But that young man from Albuquerque, New Mexico, was one of the biggest stories on the first Saturday, full Saturday of college football. And he was sensational. And you keep doubting that kid. Keep doubting that he can't play at that level and can't play at that level and can't play at that level. And he proves you wrong. I don't know what they're going to do this year. I don't know how they get Alcorn State next. And you're right, JJ. You told me they got a stretch coming up where they got Alabama and Georgia or whatever they got coming up. Yeah, it's going to get tougher. But holy bleep. I mean, what an SEC debut for him.
Just knows how to win.
Yeah.
And it was evident in the fourth quarter, in overtime, when he's able to get out of the pocket, rushing the football, making the plays downfield. And this is what Vanderbilt wanted, is to win these games, is to be down in the fourth quarter and have a chance to come back, because their record was this is their first win in like the last 60 games?
Yeah, I think it was
like
63 games.
Trailing by a touchdown or more in the fourth quarter. Like, they're not worried about Texas and Alabama. Yes, you want to compete and win those games, but they're worried about the games in between. And can they compete in those games to give themselves a chance to move forward? And beating Virginia Tech meant a whole heck of a lot to that fan base.
Yeah. He scored the touchdown in overtime, 4-yard touchdown run. He led a drive at the end of regulation, and they missed a field goal, which they would have won it in regulation. And they gave up 17 points. Like, the momentum completely swung the other way. And his quote after the game was, "I'm here to win. When you stop me, you can talk." I'm here to play how I want to. Play my game. When you stop me, then you can talk. I mean, that's Diego Pavia. And again, love him, hate him, it doesn't matter, right? But I don't know. Maybe is there a sense of pride? A kid from Albuquerque, New Mexico, his first week in the SEC was SEC Player of the Week. When they tell you they can't play,
now who you root for?
At 100%. They tell you they can't play. Well, at 8:30, we're going to talk to the kids from La Cueva who went on the road and won a big game in Arizona this weekend in overtime. But all I know is I'm watching this thing in awe. And then I go to that dinner on Saturday night, and 3 people come up to me in Vegas, and that's how they started the conversation. And it was people, hey, I hadn't seen you in a while. Hey, get a hug. Hey, did you see that kid? Yeah. It was special. What was your favorite? Is there a highlight? I'm looking at the notes you wrote down, and you're not wrong in any of them. I mean, there's so much. What's your favorite story? I know what mine is. What's your biggest story out of the weekend?
Biggest story out of the weekend, goodness.
College football wise.
Yes. I think I am fascinated how Florida State is 0-2, but
done.
The entire world has watched them underperform and be the most overrated team in college football because they've been in standalone windows and back-to-back games.
But they're done, right? They can't get into the playoff.
So bad. They win the ACC.
But how are they going to win the ACC when they're 0-2? How are they going to get in the championship game? They're 0-2 in league. How are they going to get into the championship game already 0-2?
Other than Miami.
Clemson will be all right in the ACC.
Right.
Clemson got run by Georgia, but Clemson's going to be...
Georgia's a beast.
I think they're kind of done. My favorite story of the weekend was SC. And yes, partially because I was there for that game, which was unbelievable. But I think the biggest statement of the weekend was USC. They went in as a dog against LSU, their first game as a member of the Big Ten, and they answered a lot of questions, JJ, defensively. I mean, the over rose to 66.5. Everybody thought it was the same old USC defense as we've seen the last couple of years. And I guess why would you not believe that? They thought Nussmeier was just going to roll through them. JJ, SC's defense was legit. Offensively, the 2 catches by 10, why am I forgetting his name? I just watched him. Were unbelievable. And I don't know. To me, SC was the biggest story of the weekend because that win I thought was maybe the biggest win of the week. I mean, Georgia beat the crap out of Clemson, and like Georgia is what Georgia is. But I thought SC made the biggest statement with that win over LSU.
Defense.
That's
no
what my point.
one thought Lincoln Riley could figure out any type of defense. And they looked strong.
Yeah.
You trust that the offense will develop. They have a lot of young skill position players. And if they can play defense like that, then yes, they are a team that you need to start realizing can make the college football.
Well, Miller Moss was great. You know, he came on in the Holiday Bowl last year, 3 for 5 touchdowns when it came in for Caleb Williams, who didn't play. I thought he was really, really good. Kyron Hudson was fantastic, and defensively, they were good. All right, if you're on the phone, stay there. We got to hit this break. We're gonna hit you when we come back. Bottom of the hour, 8:30. We're planning on Cam Dyer and Mason Posa from La Cueva after their huge win in Arizona.
Football is back, and I had so much fun this weekend with Underdog Fantasy. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com, and yes, sign up with the promo code JJBuck, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. The Pick'em entry contest, higher or lower the stats or projections, they're out for Thursday Night Football. You can look at Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, passing yards, touchdowns, completions, so much more. Get in the game with Underdog Fantasy. And it's not just football. You can get in the game right now. I'm looking at a fun one tonight. Yes, WNBA action, Chicago Sky, Las Vegas Aces. Higher or lower. Angel Reese, rebounds. Asia Wilson, points. Both these players on absolute fire right now. And you can jump in for football season, but you can start playing right now. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code JJBuck to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Underdog Fantasy, it's simple, it's easy, it's so much fun. It is a game changer. Spent all weekend having fun with my pick'em entries, and you can jump in right now. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, brah. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView networks.
Lost to Arizona, 61-39. Global fan, how you feeling about that? New Mexico State 1-0 with their win over Southeast Missouri, 23-16. Diego Pavia, SEC Player of the Week after leading Vanderbilt to an overtime victory over Georgia Tech. USC's 27-20 win over LSU in Vegas on Sunday night was insane. Michigan 30-10 over Fresno State. Florida State is 0-2. We can get into that. What else do you like out of there? This is important to talk about as well. And it really started to bubble yesterday because the deadline was 2 days ago for the Mountain West and the remaining Pac-12, which is the Pac-2 teams, Washington State and Oregon State, to renew their scheduling partnership, and it didn't happen. JJ, I'm going to tell you from where I sit, this did not surprise me. And I've had a conversation with a number of coaches at Media Day. And the coaches didn't love this. Okay? They scheduled, and this was kind of a majority kind of a thing. I'm not going to get into specifics and who told me what, but they felt like they scheduled non-conference games and then they got this kind of put on top of it. The coaches didn't love it. They understood why it was being done. They understand, they didn't hate it, but this was something the coaches as a whole were fond of. And yesterday came out that the Mountain West opted to not extend the scheduling partnership with Oregon State and Washington State into 2025. And it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out this year, but it certainly creates uncertainty for those two schools. There's that 7+1 scheduling contract with the Mountain West right now. JJ, I'm not going to tell you this surprised me at all. You?
No, because there's so much moving forward, and those schools want themselves to regenerate. I'm sure the Pac-12, whatever it's going to be, moving forward, and the challenges for the Mountain West teams. I'm with you. I think I like that they did it, and they tried to build that relationship, keep that relationship going, potentially keep it open for
but either you're in or you're out.
Something. But yes, it gets to a point where if it's frustrating to many coaches, Oregon State and Washington State still feel like there's so much more for them on the horizon. This is what's going to happen.
And there was $14 million in this deal for the Mountain West. So, do I have time for this phone call? All right, Rudy, good morning. You're on The Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Just recovering from the Arizona trip. Had an interesting experience with Waymo.
Okay.
Friday at the Diamondbacks-Dodgers game. Driverless taxis are interesting. It decided it couldn't drop us off, so have you ever been to the ballpark there in Phoenix?
Yes. Yeah.
You know the bridge?
I
you
do.
Go over right by the ballpark?
I do.
About a mile from the bridge, it finally decided to drop us off.
So
we walked back in 105-degree heat.
Yeah. I'm not big on driverless vehicles, man. I'm not. I know that's the way of the future. I'm just not big on driverless vehicles.
I'm not. Excuse me.
You sound like crap.
But the game Saturday in Arizona, if you can lay 40 points on a Big 12 defense, you've got a pretty good offense. And I think it's clear to everybody that we have to address some deficiencies on defense.
Sure.
I don't know if it's scheme, personnel, execution, but it can get better, and you can't have those big busts in the run game or in the pass game. That said, McMillan is probably a Heisman Trophy candidate. That guy was unbelievable.
Yep.
But right in his heels is Luke Weisson. Luke had a game.
Yeah, he had a really good first
game.
half. Yeah, and that was the best I've ever seen him play. And like I said earlier, I didn't know he had that in him.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think I hate when people have a meltdown and start doing that stuff on social media, but I think for Luke, all it did is motivate him. And I think going forward, that's a reliable receiver. Medford finally broke through and got a touchdown. I like this offense, and we're still playing with a makeshift offensive line.
Yep.
So I don't know if that's the future going forward with Angelo at center, or they can get Singletary back. But I would think the plan would be to get Singletary back if they can, and he would solidify that line, and now you have an experienced backup center. I just think that going forward, what I see and what encourages me is how hard this team plays. They did not quit. That's any other year. Arizona wanted to cover that 31-point spread, and they just couldn't. We had those two breaks, and they got ahead of us. But it was point for point the first half, and I'm really encouraged by that.
You were up in the second quarter, and it was a team that looked like they believed that they could win. Which, and all the way through, most of the third quarter, I thought it was a team that looked like they believed that they belonged on the field and they could win. And that's the first step. You got to believe it and go it. All right, glad you're back. Glad you're safe. Go get your voice back. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Rudy.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right. By the way, I have no desire to be in a driverless taxi.
I'm with you.
I mean, I don't know. I'm still not there, and I was listening to something on KKOB yesterday coming home. 20 years, all cars will be driverless. You're going to sit in your car and you're just going to watch a movie and it's going to take you to work. Like, They told me by now we'll be flying around like Jetsons too.
You got to give everyone a free self-driving car?
Yeah, right. Well, maybe.
How's that?
Maybe. 8:30, Mason Posa and Cam Dyer expected to be with us. The stars of the La Cueva football team who had a big win over a Arizona Power. Got a sweet deal for you as well. 505-246-0610. Come on in after a big Labor Day weekend on the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet? Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Oh, yeah, buddy, said Donovan Portery one time here on this show. Oh, yeah, buddy. What a weekend, huh? Here for you at 505-246-0610. Lobo fan, how'd you feel about your team's performance, putting up 39, although giving up 61 at Arizona? Aggie fan, you are 1-0 after a 23-16 victory at home over Southeast Missouri State. And we're starting the NFL season. SC fan, where you at? Michigan, Florida State, Georgia. I mean, just go through it. And we'll go through the Mountain West as well. What happened in that league? There was some weird stuff going on in the Mountain West over the weekend as well. JJ Buck alongside. I'm merely Jeff Symbieta. Glad you're with us today. Coming up at 8:30, we're expecting to hear from Cam Dyer and Mason Posa of La Cueva. They had that big victory on the road. They went to Flagstaff, Arizona. And, JJ, they were down 25-10 to the defending 6A runner-up in Arizona and at Pinnacle High School. With 2 minutes and 7 seconds left, they scored 15 points. The final 2:07 went to overtime and won the game, 39-32.
I can't wait to ask them what that 2 minutes of football on the field was like, but that just 15 minutes
of life
total, getting to overtime and then bringing that confidence into the overtime period.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that conversation. They're practicing this morning, and there's I believe they're going to join us coming up at 8:30. All right, some other stuff that happened over the weekend if you want to get into it as well. Joey Chestnut ate 87 hot dogs on Netflix. Oakland Roots beat New Mexico United 1-0. Scotty Scheffler won $25 million. The All-America Futurity went down here in Albuquerque, so it was all there for you. JJ, we're in line. So Audra hit a bet. It was the first time she ever went to collect. She was feeling so we were in getting some snacks before, and everybody in Vegas is an expert, and I was on the over. I lost.
Everyone was.
That's why I went up so damn high. And the guy's like, I don't know, man. I'm feeling SC.
It's USC.
Well, so before the game, she opens up this YouTube channel, and she's like watching this thing on this guy on YouTube explaining why USC's defense is going to be better. And so she got on SC. She researched, and she took SC 4 points, and she took the under, and she hit her parlay.
I should have listened to her because in my I was definitely on the higher.
Yep.
With my pick'em entries in that game Sunday
It was
night.
all the way up at 66.5 too. So yeah, so we go back, and she went to cash her tickets over in the sports book, and all these SC people were there, and the guy was I hit for $500, but bleep Scotty Scheffler. He only won $25 million. I'm getting $500. Bleep Scotty Scheffler. Yeah, okay. How about Scotty Scheffler? I watched him a little bit on Sunday too, and makes a bogey on 8. Nobody. It was like the only bogey.
I think he's still complaining about the playoff format.
No, I think he's fine now. I think now that he won $25 million.
Where you're like, wait, how is this dude already minus $1 billion versus everyone else?
Okay, he's a damn machine. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's the best ever. I'm not. I will tell you this was a Tiger-esque year. Is that is that sacrilege? I'm not telling you his career is Tiger. I'm not telling you he is Tiger. I'm telling you the season that he had, winning the Masters, winning the Players, winning the gold medal, winning the FedEx Cup, winning the Tour Championship, and then winning 6 out of 7 tournaments at one point. was a Tiger-like season. Again, I'm not telling you he's Tiger. I'm not telling you he's going to have that longevity. But what we saw this year was bonkers.
It absolutely was. And for anyone to flirt with that, it does show you how special a year it was, because that's one way to judge it, is Tiger-esque. Just with the amount of wins over a sustained period of time.
The amount of money
that was brought in, which you better like the playoff format, because it was weighted for you. Because if you have a year like that, you come out on top.
Yeah. I know the next response is, Jeff, yeah, but Rory had a year like that. Remember when Jordan Smith, again, I'm not telling you he's going to go on that run. I'm not telling you he's not. I mean, odds would tell you he's not. But yeah, we've seen dudes have years like this. Jordan Spieth has been there, right? All I know is this was the best season, the most consistent, unbelievable golf I've watched out of a human since I watched Tiger in his prime. You know, Dustin Johnson went on a run for a minute years ago. This guy is steady, rarely emotional, bounces back from mistakes like the bogey he had. Did you see him? He hit one off the hosel coming out of the sand trap on 8. It went dead right. It was like you and me coming out of a trap. And he made bogey. He was the only bogey in the whole field on that hole. He came back and went birdie. I've never seen anything like it. So that's there for you too. But $25 million, by the way. Terry sent a note on the text line about that. Or was it Terry? No, it was John. He said, "Wow, fellas, all I have to say on this." He said it on Saturday. On the Saturday evening is Scotty Scheffler. What an awesome game of golf. Wow. Loved all of it. Dude shot a 66, unreal. Thanks and happy Labor Day. Yeah. Was that dang good? Also on the text line, and you can hit us there at 505-246-0610. Happens to be the phone line as well. It says, I was pleasantly surprised that the Lobos covered, and especially that they scored almost 40 points. Maybe this year won't be a complete bleep show. Okay. JJ, you said something. I'm going to let you say it again. Because I thought you were right on point as far as Lobo fans and Lobo football this year.
If you can hang on, if you can make it through the next month, then Lobo football will give you something to hang your hat on. If you can make it to even September 28th. Because I think when you look at Auburn, you know what kind of test that's going to be. You know, Fresno State's a tough one, but you're back home for that. You have to come to University Stadium, see what progress you made by that point in time. But you look at moving forward, and teams are going to get better, teams are going to improve. But New Mexico State was outgained by Southeastern Missouri State over the weekend, kind of struggled to score. Air Force, it was only 21-6 victory for them over Merrimack. Utah State, Wyoming got blued out by the last place team, preseason pick in the Big 12. Arizona State. San Diego State, offensively. Now, Hawaii looked really good defensively.
Yeah, what's going on there?
But there's opportunities with this Mountain West schedule that if your offense can play at that level, you will be in those games.
You know, it was a lot better than I thought. Nevada.
Yeah.
I mean, Nevada, by every right, should have beat SMU. They didn't. Then they went on the road and beat Troy. And Troy is a good Sun Belt team. And that was the team that was picked below New Mexico in the media poll.
Yes.
Was Nevada. And Jeff Choate has done a nice job. But they went on the road and put up 28 points. I like their quarterback a lot. 28-26 was a good victory on the road for them. A really good victory on the road. Did you see any of the Wyoming game? I wasn't stunned they lost. I was stunned they got run the way.
We were paying attention to it because it was on the same time the Lobos were playing.
Yeah.
So we're back here and doing the broadcast and looking at all the late games. And Arizona State outgained Wyoming 499 yards to 118 yards, and half of those 118 yards came on the final drive of the game for Wyoming. They got destroyed. And that was a game a lot of people were picking Wyoming in, of looking for that early season upset. And
was that more about I didn't see any of it. Was it more about Wyoming or Arizona State?
It was honestly both, because Wyoming was not as good defensively as you expected. Offensively, they were terrible. They had no offense. And that's the team you usually expect. Run the football, take a couple shots downfield. But you go out there, they had an early pick six, and Arizona State was just rolling them.
Well, they could be in trouble. They got an Idaho team coming up to Laramie next.
And that's one of the things where it wasn't a coach that was fired, but Craig Bohl was an excellent head coach.
Of course he was.
And you see early, that did not look like a Craig Bohl football team because he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't, but his defensive coordinator, Jay Sawvell, is taking over, but obviously it's a difference. They start out Idaho, who played with Oregon. Then they get BYU coming into Laramie, which is a big deal for them. And then they got to go to North Texas, who's no joke, and then Air Force. I mean, let's see if they're improvement from week 1 to week 2, but just look at the numbers, and I watched that score just swell. I was like, what the hell is going on there? Hawaii was impressive. They lose by 3 to UCLA, 16-13. Colorado State got run out by Texas 52-0. I know you gave these. Fresno State played with Michigan until the very end. And Mikey Keene threw for 235 yards, a touchdown, but the pick six was the difference. Air Force struggled with Merrimack. I don't know what to make of that.
That's a team that I expect to take steps forward all season long. When you look at brand new offensive line, new quarterback, trying to execute the option offense. But it's that stretch where after Fresno State's going to be a solid favorite in Albuquerque over the Lobos. But New Mexico State, Air Force, Utah State, I think Colorado State's going to be a different team when they're not playing Texas.
That's fair.
Offensively.
Did you see the day Austin Genty have?
Yeah. Boise State's not on your schedule this year.
No, they're not. But Lobos. He still went for 267 yards and 6 touchdowns at Georgia Southern.
There was ever, all right, I'm just going to do it myself game. That was it.
Yeah. I mean, damn, dude. Damn. Now, I'm interested to see what is that more about Georgia Southern?
Points too.
They gave up 45 points, and they gave up, almost 322 yards passing, another 139 rushing. But they got out of there with a win. Look, that's a tough trip, too. Georgia Southern is way better than anybody around here is going to give them credit for. Then let's see what they do, because they go to Oregon, does Boise State next week. So we'll see. All right, got a sweet deal for you when we come back. The La Cueva football team coming up at 8:30 this morning is the plan with Cam Dyer and Mason Posa. And a really yummy sweet deal for you when we return as well. Hey, crime, man, look, it was a violent last couple of days, last couple of weeks. Property crime is rising. You know that. Protect yourself. Call IPS, International Protective Service. I've had IPS protect my home for years, and they give us peace of mind. They'll protect your home, your business. You've seen them as you go to stores all around Albuquerque, Targets and Nordstrom's, or wherever it is. They're making a difference for them, and they'll make a difference for you. They respond to alarms. They're there within 7 minutes or less. Police can take hours. There's just not enough police officers, to cover all the calls that they get. IPS has officers strategically placed around Albuquerque and Santa Fe. And they're there quickly. And many times they catch the criminals in the act and detain them, and the cops come and pick them up. So who's watching your home when you're away? Make sure it's the good guys. A quick response to your alarm or standing guards at your business. It's what IPS does. You sleep better at night. You can't prevent all the crime. But if you have no protection, you're more likely to be victimized. IPS's phone number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
For surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Looking forward to talking to the La Cueva guys. Cam Dyer, Mason Posa due to be with us coming up at 8:30 after their big victory. 505-246-0610, opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Travis, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. What's good?
Good morning, fella.
Hello, Travis.
Listen, 3 days off, feeling good, feeling rejuvenated, made some money this weekend. Let me tell you something. I would much rather have our offense, our Lobo offense, than that impotence offense of Florida State. Let me tell you something. Much rather have Devin Depp here.
They might too.
What's that?
They might too. Be careful.
Yeah. I think, look, what was the people lost money on this game in Vegas over the weekend. The point spread on that game was, what, 31 points?
On the Lobos?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think it closed at like 28.5 or 29. I think the money started coming out of New Mexico late. But, yeah, it got up to 31 points at one point.
I mean, crazy. Yeah. I mean, no one thought that New Mexico was going to hang tough in this game. And And at halftime, New Mexico was down by only 3 points. If you ask anybody last week on Monday when we were talking about this game, after that Montana State loss, and you asked them whether the Lobos would be down only by 3 at halftime, nobody would have taken that bet. And, it was a shootout for a good portion of that game. And what was really impressive was, and the commentators mentioned this, the broadcast mentioned this, was just how good Dampier was with the ball. At one point he was 8 of 8, 9 of 9, 10 of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Completing all of his passes, really protecting the ball. And his ability to be mobile, to escape the pocket. He looked like Jalen Hurts out there. It was really impressive. Obviously at the end of the day, the defense is just not where it needs to be, and against that high-powered Arizona offense, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best receiver you'll see all year. Teteroa McMillan is unbelievable.
Yeah, but I thought it was good stuff for the first half, and to come in and lose that game by less than the spread is pretty impressive. But listen, there's no moral victories, and at the end of the day, Bronco Mendenhall knows this. The only thing that matters for this program is what the score is on the scoreboard at the end of the game and your record at the end of the season. And so he's got a lot of work to do. The team has a lot of work to do, but you can't say that this team isn't better than it was last year, particularly offensively.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys.
All right, see you. Travis phoned us at 505-246-0610. That's fair. Look, I get those of you who don't get it, right? Those of you who are not Lobo fans and not trying to find the half full part of this, I understand it. I know what your record is, but I also understand the reality, right? And where they came from, the way they played, how they hung in with this team. Look, they stood toe to toe with the 21st ranked team in the country for 3 quarters. Were leading in the second quarter and looked like a team that believed that they can win a football game. And JJ, I'm not sure I saw that early last season. I think the end of last season, the Lobo football did. When they went up to beat Fresno State, I thought they were getting there, but I'm not sure early last season if they'd have gone into a game like that was a team that believed they could have won. And Danny Gonzalez, remember when they went to Texas A&M a few years ago, and Danny said, my team didn't believe they could win. So there's something to take out of it, and your point is right. If you've got the patience to stay through this, then you may get a payoff. I got a sweet deal for you, and you may get a payoff. It is going to be something that you really, really like. You go to our website. You go to sportsanimalabq.com. Go there at 9 o'clock and click on the sweet deal icon, and it is Fuego 505. Last year's best new restaurant in Albuquerque. Now they're just best restaurant, like running around. Matthew was here for $50, or for $25. You get $50 to spend at your spot. How you living?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Appreciate you coming by. We're good. Thank you.
Thanks for having me back. It's always a pleasure.
And it's good to see you. When you walked in, I'm like, hey, I remember that, and this was really good. And obviously things are going well at Fuego 505.
Yeah, it's almost better every month. So it's been great.
Let people know where you are if they don't know, and what your spot's all about.
Okay, so we're located on the corner of McMahon and Unser behind the Starbucks and CVS. We're kind of nestled into that, which is the only flaw.
They're located near you. Come on
there.
now. Starbucks and CVS is near Fuego 505. Come on now.
But we have some exciting stuff coming up. We're dropping our new menu in a few weeks.
All right.
And so our best-selling item, what we call the Barrio Taco, which is basically a birria taco, but we don't use Chipotle consomme. We use a New Mexico red chili.
Love that.
So it's just better for us New Mexicans.
Yes, it is.
And we have a new one coming out that Chef created. It's a green chili chicken Barrio Taco with a green chili consomme that's just outstanding. So we're excited about that. And, of course, football season coming up. We have the ticket, and we added 4 televisions.
Beautiful.
Last week to be prepared, and of course our rotisserie wings we do on Sundays only are a lot of fun.
Well, it's more than the food; it's the culture, and that makes Fuego 505 what they are. And look, about 10 years ago, right? 2 cousins, Northern New Mexico cousins, set out. You got love of food and set this up. Now you've got award-winning chef Raul up there, and the place has just been growing, and people are loving it. Is there a website people can go look at the menu if you want to familiarize yourself? You got yourself about 35 minutes before the sweet deal goes on sale.
Yeah, Fuego505.com, or you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, and you'll get all the updates, all the posts, and yeah, we hope to see you in there and come in, have a cocktail, and eat some food.
You got elk, steak, chicken, shrimp skewers.
Yeah,
what's the Fuego plate?
The Fuego plate it can be almost anything. You pick your size that go on it.
I'm in, dude.
And there's like 30 different combinations. Now, on the new menu, we are streamlining it a little bit.
Okay.
But it's still one of the best things because you can get it so many ways, and it's just fun.
All right, get up there. It's at Unser McMahon. The CVS and the Starbucks are right near Fuego 505. Hey, go check them out. Go to our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon at 9 o'clock this morning. These will go quickly, and you get $50 worth of Fuego 505, and it'll only cost you $25. That's a Fuego hot deal for $25 free dollars worth of grub at Fuego 505. Always good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Continued success. Thanks for coming by. When we come back, La Cueva football pulled off a gigantic win in Arizona over the defending big school Arizona runners-up, Mason Posa and Cam Dyer. Their stars are going to be with us when we come back. Next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is brought to you by Sandia Area Federal Credit.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride barbecue chicken and ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers under
22-0610.
Well, one of the best wins, saying ever is a long time. Like, ever is a really long time, but find me a better one. I'm listening. For a high school football team in the state of New Mexico, out of state, right? It wasn't for a state championship. I understand that. But what La Cueva did on Saturday in Arizona is pretty special. It's the opening drive. Thanks for being with us, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. So La Cueva football went to Flagstaff and played Pinnacle out of the Phoenix area. Pinnacle is the 6A, or the big school, defending runner-up in the state of Arizona. And Pinnacle was up by a score of 25-10 with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left to go. The game was essentially over, except for it wasn't, because Cam Dyer, La Cueva, went on a sprint 76-yard touchdown run to make it 25-17 with 54 seconds to go. The Bears then got the onside kick. They had 52 yards to go, and Cam Dyer threw a 29-yard pass to Jaden Parsons down to the 10, set up the tying points. They got a 2-point conversion. Mason Posa took a direct snap. He scored, and then they go to overtime, and La Cueva gets a unbelievable victory, 39-32 over Pinnacle. And two of the studs on that team are with us this morning. They just got out of practice. Cam Dyer, Mason Posa. You're with Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck on the opening drive. Congratulations, fellas. What a great win. I got to believe that bus ride home was kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead, Cam. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, yes, sir, it was a big win. We appreciate you for having us.
No, appreciate you guys. I know you just got out of practice. You got some school to deal with. But, guys, where does it come from? I mean, 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go. You're down by 15 points. I got to believe the other side thought it was over. Where does the belief come from that you can pull off a miracle like that?
It just, I feel like it was really our offense, I mean, defense, they scored that long run on us, our heads down, our coach is kind of giving us a talk about the game, and just saying it's all right, just one game. And then when he's talking to us, I pick my head up and I see Cam run for a 70-yard touchdown, and right after that, I was like, holy cow, we have 3 timeouts left and there's 50 seconds. We get this onside kick, we can win it, and I just feel like Cam scoring that touchdown really brought a lot of energy to our entire team. And just, some of our leaders on our team just saying, let's go. Let's get this ball. Let's go score again. And I just feel like it was just a huge moment in the game.
Cam Dyer.
I mean, I feel like kind of to add to what Mason said, I feel kind of the opposite. I feel like it was our defense. I mean, they kept us in the game. And, we didn't really we kind of struggled to move the ball a little bit in the second half and until that run. And I just felt like our defense stayed solid. And, I mean, they gave up that play, but they had been solid all game. And, they provided the platform for us just to go and capitalize off of it. And I also feel like it was our kicker, too. I mean, he had a really good game, made all his extra points, made his field goal, and then that big onside kick, obviously. So, I think we just fired off on all cylinders, and it was just a big team win.
What does it mean? And I don't know if you guys could put it in perspective. I know everybody's been telling you what it means, and you guys probably listen to it. And I heard they were talking a whole lot of junk. New Mexico football has been really, whether it's underrated or underappreciated or underrespected or whatever, you guys are both committed to Power 4 schools to play football. But for this is bigger than just La Cueva, right? This is a big win for New Mexico football to go out and beat the team that was the state runner-up. Have you guys reconciled that in your minds, how big of a win this is for the state of New Mexico and for high school football?
Yeah, I mean, I think it means a lot. It means a lot for us, for sure, as for our program. I feel like we've had a lot of good teams come through our program, and a lot of good teams come through the state, but I don't know if we've had a win that was on that level, I guess you could say. So it means a lot. I mean, I think that there's a lot of ballers that come out here, but it often goes unnoticed because of the bad rep that everybody has on New Mexico football. So I just think that it was a huge win for New Mexico, and it was a big win for the program for sure.
Mason Posa, Cam Dyer with us from La Cueva. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, guys.
Sorry. One of our teammates, Jackson Smith, his brother told us that we're the first Albuquerque team to beat an out-of-state team in like 54 years.
Damn.
So it's like a pretty big deal, you know. I mean, Cleveland and Rio Rancho, they've beaten teams out of state, but I mean, we're the only metro area, you know, just to...
Or Albuquerque-based team, yeah.
Yeah, basically, you know, just to beat a team, and I just feel like that's just really huge.
And the way you did it is even more impressive. And again, a big win for La Cueva.
Now, Cam, I want to start with you with this question. Your leadership and, being the guy that's orchestrating the offense for this team, who do you lean on, and where does that come from you, just the confidence and being able to keep all those guys' heads up no matter what's going on?
I mean, really, it's just my teammates. They respond to my leadership well, and I feel like they want me to lead. And, sometimes I get on them and, they don't like hearing some things I have to say, but they really respond well. And I love leading this team. They're all my brothers. I love each and every one of them. And I feel like, they respond real well to my leadership. And my coaches, they definitely give me the power and the strength to lead. And they make me feel, like we can do anything. And Coach Back always says, he loves player-led teams better than like coach-led teams. So, he just gives the strength to me and Mason to continue that leadership through on in everything we do. So, it's definitely my players and my coaches and just the La Cueva football community.
Yeah, Mason, for you, your physical mindset, man. You're playing linebacker, you're taking direct snaps, running the football. Where was that built on for you, just your mentality and the way that you play?
I feel like my mentality definitely comes from my dad. He's really tough. He's a tough guy. He wrestled University of Oklahoma. Grew up in Santa Fe, and just wrestling is just a grinding and mental sport. And I just feel like my dad has helped me, grow in that mindset, and just also the sport of wrestling, just being really physical, and just you're by yourself in wrestling, and that's how I think about it. I'm by myself in football. I gotta go make this play. I gotta go make this. I gotta go help my teammates out. And I just feel like being physical and just being mentally ready and just not scared out there, it just helps a lot.
Couple more minutes with La Cueva's Cam Dyer and Mason Posa. Mason, you've committed to play at Wisconsin. Cam, you're going to Arizona State. And Cam, I want to ask you, because this game was against an Arizona team, and you're going to go to play in Arizona at Arizona State, bigger deal? Did you feel like you had to prove yourself a little bit to that community, to that fan base, playing against an Arizona team?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it meant a lot because I was there in Arizona, and a lot of people knew that I was coming that weekend. A lot of Arizona State fans, commenting on my Twitter and everything, and so yeah, I mean, I think it meant a lot. I think that I think first impressions mean a lot, and so I wanted to show everybody what I can do. But most importantly, I just wanted to come out with the win. I didn't really care about individual stats or anything like that. Just as long as we won the game, then. We have a long season ahead, so it was just really about getting the win, going in there and proving that we can play big-time football in New Mexico. So, it meant a lot, like I said earlier.
Yeah, and Cam, you're going to Wisconsin, and now that you got all the recruiting stuff out of the way, and you can talk about that whole process if you'd like, but what Cam just said, I mean, it's a big deal for you guys this year, isn't it? To win a state championship, you've got a number of guys who are playing Power 4 football next year that are committed. To have the recruiting thing out of the way and be able to concentrate on your senior year, is that make it, I don't know, more focused? Is that a bigger deal now?
No, not really. It's just once we committed, we're done with it. We don't get really any calls, anymore. We don't have to worry about going to trips, making out other schools, just really focusing on the school we're committed to, and just like all that pressure is like relieved, and we don't really have to worry as much, and just I feel like last year, like me, Cam, and March, we were really just like thinking about like, oh, we got to play a certain way, to get this offer, we got to go off this game. Certain coaches are watching, and that all goes to the back of our head, in this game really, we were just thinking, let's go show all these schools the reason why they recruited us. Because, a lot of people say, New Mexico competition, everyone looks down that. But when they see a New Mexico team beat the crap out of an Arizona team, and just come back from that brutal win, it just, like, really just shows them, like, we can play out of state, too.
Yeah, and it's just such a big, big win for you guys. All right, who's more impressive in week one? Wisconsin getting by Western Michigan or Arizona State putting it on Wyoming, guys?
Give me ASU, baby.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin's defense looked amazing that game, but, that offense needs a little work. It's first game jitters. That's what I was telling everybody. Wisconsin, we're gonna come back. We're gonna beat Bama this year. So
you get Bama in 2 weeks, man. It's South Dakota. Then you get Bama and SC back to back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, it'll be fun. Hey, fellas, congratulations. I appreciate you spending a few minutes with us today. It's a huge victory, and look, I know there's competition within schools, and whether it's you in El Dorado or you in Cleveland or whatever it is. But I think everybody in New Mexico was proud of what La Cueva did. I think everybody who's associated with high school sports, and certainly high school football in the state of New Mexico, should take pride in what you guys did going on the road, not just winning, but the way in which you won. Enjoy it. Go to school now. Keep your grades up, fellas. Make sure you got scholarships to protect. So take care of that. But appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, be well, boys. Mason Posa and Cam Dyer of La Cueva. That's great stuff, isn't it?
Those dudes locked in. They're ready for what's to come and have an incredible season here. It's going to be a lot of great storylines.
JJ, they were down 15 with 2:07 on the road. Cam goes for 76 yards. They get an onside. I'm telling you, and I didn't see the game, obviously, but as I was reading it, it literally sounded like Arizona beating Nevada in that New Mexico Bowl years ago, that Rich Rod game where they won 48-47. It was just a huge win for New Mexico high school sports. Appreciate those guys spending some time with us. Hey, you're driving around. It's still warm, man. You still need window tint, and I got the place for you to get window tint. If you're driving without it, why? What are you doing? It's On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They are a certified 3M dealer. That means they've got the best product on the market. Ask them about ceramic tint. It blocks 99% of the UV and infrared rays, and that keeps your car looking and feeling cool. It's the professional tint you need at On the Spot Automotive Detailing, and when you get in touch with them, talk to them about detailing your vehicle. They will come to you when it works for you, where it works for you. I don't know where they are. They just know where I am. That's really all that matters. They'll come to you and detail your vehicle. They are best in the city. Right? They were awarded best in the city because, well, they're best in the city. And they will make your car look and feel and smell like the day you took it off the lot. On the Spot Automotive Detailing. Schedule your appointment today. Call them at 505-859-2859, 505-859-2859, or go to otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Fred, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Fred.
Hey, guys. A couple different comments. On the La Cueva win, that was a great win. The one thing I wish you guys would have asked, but Posa, I don't remember. I've watched him play for 4 years, and I don't ever remember him carrying the ball. And I know he's been bugging the coaches about running the ball, but to put him in at such an important time to score the tie-in touchdown, man, that took a lot of guts. I love to have seen how did he talk those coaches into letting him make that run.
Yep.
Yeah. Then the Lobos, it was really a great game. I thought we played so well. The one thing that was amazing is that if you remember in spring training, Dampier, I think he was in 48 different plays. He played the whole game. We had no other quarterback, and I thought, God, I wonder if he could do something like that in the game. Well, he did it. He threw 24 passes for 42 and 42 attempts, and then he ran 15 times. That's 39 times he's involved in the offense. Man, that's unbelievable. There's only 23 other carries in the game, and I just thought, that is unbelievable that he could do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to say something about Pavia too. Pavia, I don't know if you realize how many times he carried the ball, but he better not try to carry the ball too much this season. He carried the ball 26 times for a little over 100 yards.
It's going to be tough sledding in the SEC. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way he could do that.
Yeah,
but anyway, I thought
Fred.
that was a good game by the Lobos. I think we have a good chance to win some games for the rest of the season.
Thanks, Fred.
All right, guys.
See you. Miguel, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Miguel.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. First off, great interview with the La Cueva players.
Thank you.
And hey, I've lived in the Phoenix market for 30 years. Beating Pinnacle is huge because they're I won't say a powerhouse, but kind of they've had really strong teams over there year in and year out. So that's not beating Little Sisters of the Poor by any stretch of the imagination. That's a hell of a win and just a good interview on your guys' part.
Thank you.
I enjoyed listening to it. Lobos, they covered. I called in last Wednesday and I said I think they'll cover, and they did. But I'm a Sun Devil, so I didn't. The Sun Devils were playing the same time as the Wildcats, so
whooping them.
I wasn't. I taped the game and I watched the first half, and I seen the first half scores while I was watching the Sun Devil game too. And it's just Dampier showed up, Weissong, the receiver, showed up. I just think it was a good game for them and something to build on. But again, they got to at some point put an emphasis on defense, and if they do that, I think they'll be a strong team.
Right on. Appreciate it, Miguel.
Okay,
Thank you. I think that's a fair assessment. I mean, at some point you got to stop someone, right, JJ? And the fact that Montana State ran the way they did on them, and then you gave up 61 points, and Tetaroa McMillan ran like went wild like he did. Look, that dude's going to have games like that. I don't know that he's going to have 304 yards and 4 touchdowns against everybody.
No, some of it too is the Lobos just have to get to a point on their schedule where they're not facing those teams.
Fair.
Which is Arizona, Auburn, the challenge that will be Fresno State. Well, even if they do give up yards, you realize this opponent, doesn't have the skill level of Arizona or Auburn, so you expect it to be a closer game, even if they're playing shootouts.
Yeah. All right. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. I got a lot from you still. You got a full weekend. College football. The NFL starts in 2 days. Got some news for you this morning. We'll get to you. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Merry Tuesday on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez.
Three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Tuesday coming out of Labor Day, and you got a lot to talk about, boys and girls. First full weekend of college football. What a good weekend to watch, too, man. Every window had something really good, didn't it? Like, every window, and even the standalone games were really, really interesting. I mean, starting on Thursday. 505-246-0610, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. I told you coming out of it, JJ, my biggest story, my biggest takeaway on the national scale was SC. I thought SC made a statement with their win over LSU. I defensively, I thought they showed up. They scored points. They showed grit down the stretch. LSU made mistakes now. Like what Brian Kelly was doing, coming out of the 2-minute timeout. I was in the building. It was second down. I said, Dodger, I promise you they run the ball here. There's no way. And then they threw the ball in incomplete. And they gave ball. SC had one timeout. They get the ball back with a minute 51 and go down the field and win the game. SC was better coached. SC played better defense. SC made bigger plays.
And I can see how that would be the biggest statement of week one because that has championship implications. If USC can play defense at that level, which no one thought they were going to be able to do. Everyone thought they were going to go to the Big Ten and get smashed and get pushed around. You know that Lincoln Riley will develop an offense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they've got an offense. They've got playmakers. Grady, good morning. You're on these sports. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. This one over here. Hello, Grady.
College football buffet enjoyers.
Damn right.
OG and the AM. What's happening?
Lots, man. Lots. What's going on?
So, that game, the Lobo game, Saturday. And a lot has been said, and I'll just add a couple of notes. First off, those 39 points that Lobos put up, that was against Arizona starters. Arizona didn't just pull the starters and empty the benches. Now that their starters were in that game on both sides of the ball until the very end. It's something of note, and don't look now, but Lobos may just have a legit weapon at quarterback. And my guy Wysong, he must have been listening to some of the chatter, even the chatter coming out of my house. Like, man, he's good, but is he a playmaker? And tell you what, they did not embarrass themselves. And talk on the other side coming out of Tucson is, yeah, it was great, but what about the defense? They're concerned about the defense giving up all those yards and all those points. So Lobos definitely made an impression, and I would even say this, that Arizona team, I don't know when the rankings come out, but they might be a little bit higher than 21 come the end of the week. So I know how we feel about moral victories, quote unquote, but there's a lot of positive takeaways from that win. And my biggest national impact story, Jeff, as you were saying, is Diego Pavia. I think that of transfer quarterbacks that played at big schools and against other big opponents, his debut was as good as anyone.
100%.
And the announcers, they couldn't get enough of him, and the kid can play. And I was lucky enough to have my college kid at home, and we were watching that. And as someone being up here in the village, we preach for a long time that zip codes don't matter. If you can play, you can play. And it's something that Diego Pavia just showed the entire nation that it didn't matter what zip code he grew up in. If you can play, you can play. And then dovetails perfectly into those kids from La Cueva. And it doesn't matter the zip code where you are. If you can play, you can play. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, that might lead to a little bit of the erosion of the, oh, woe is me, the poor us, New Mexico prevalent attitude that we have, that we can't do anything good around here. We can't have anything good around here. You know what? La Cueva in particular, if you actually set up a program, and quote-unquote fund it and set it up to succeed, who knows? You might actually have success because folks around here, the good ones, they can play, they can compete. Now, other states may have more
depth. Yep.
But hey, and again, comes back to when we would tell our kids up here, the top 2A, the top small school kids, they can play with the top big school kids. The big schools just have more of them. So we have 1 or 2, they got 5 or 6. And if you can get in the right circumstances, you can play. So that really was a positive coming out of the weekend. That great New Mexico. That's something that shows you that who knows. Maybe if you actually believe in what we can do around here, we can succeed.
Yep, no, that's a great call. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
Your time.
On the Diego Pavia thing, and again, for those of you just joining us, Diego Pavia from Volcano Vista High School, New Mexico Military Institute, New Mexico State, and now the starting quarterback at Vanderbilt, who's the SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Not the guy from Alabama or Tennessee or Florida or Auburn or Georgia. Kid from Vanderbilt from New Mexico. 12 for 16 through the air, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran 26 times for 104 yards and scored. Game-winning touchdown in overtime, led a drive at the end of regulation. They missed a field goal. They could have won it then. He was spectacular, man. And that's a kid where, look, I'm not going to lie, I wondered, could he play at that level? You did too, right?
Yes.
I mean,
he can.
Keep down that kid.
What Vanderbilt wants is to win these games. They weren't winning these games.
No.
They want to get bowl eligible. Diego Pavia knows how to do that. Knows how to do the unexpected. Now, it's the SEC, and fans want to get a little taste of something. They're going to want more, but no one is asking Diego Pavia to beat Texas or Alabama this year.
But on their schedule,
people will point to be like, hey, this kid took New Mexico State and Auburn and won that game. So they're going to have that belief. They're going to have that confidence coming off this game.
Can they win 6? I mean, they got 1. Could they beat Alcorn State, then Georgia State, and maybe Kentucky and Ball State and Auburn or South Carolina or LSU and get to 6?
Yes.
Yeah. Sherman, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Sherman.
Hey, hooray for La Cueva. Here's what I want. I want everybody in your audience to start calling Mayor Kelly's office. We want to have La Cueva Day in Albuquerque and a parade around the state fairgrounds for La Cueva. I mean, this was marvelous stuff, right?
It's a hell of a win, man. I don't think it's overstating it to say it was good for everybody who plays high school football in this state.
Amen, brother. Just marvelous stuff.
Yep.
I am too very encouraged for Lobo football. For me, I go back to it's a team sport. Lobos have 15 new coaches, 60 new players. You don't build a team in 3 months. It takes a while. But everybody who likes football should truly be encouraged. Looking at the first 2 games, can you find faults? Of course you can find faults. But I tell you what, this team is coming together.
Appreciate you, man. Good to hear you, Sherman.
Hey, good to hear you. Take care, friend.
JJ said it earlier, and I think, JJ, it's the best assessment I've heard. If you're willing to give it some time. And look, they may not be bowl eligible this year. But if you're willing to give it some time, the first 2 weeks, and certainly what we saw the other day, they've got the makings of being a lot better. And I get it, man. You got to get better defensively. You gave up 61 points, and now you're going to Auburn. But if you're willing to be patient, then you might be rewarded with something pretty good. But
at least competitive football and conference play.
Yeah.
Because you have that quarterback. Devin Dampier is a special athlete, as a playmaker and an offense that is designing everything for him to be successful. I don't expect the defense to take large steps forward this year. Now, it's going to look different when you're playing offense that struggles, and there's some of those potentially ahead on the schedule. But that is why I look at it, and for a Lobo fan, if you can hang on, because there's a couple more games like this where it might be little lopsided.
Auburn put up 568 yards and 73 points on Alabama A&M the other day.
Wow.
I know. They get Cal next week. Let's see what they look like.
But it's really, you get to the New Mexico State game, the run of conference play after that. And what I believe Devin Darren has shown is that will give him a chance to be competitive, because this team probably going to be in some shootouts, and you got a quarterback like that, he's going to make some plays.
Keep him healthy and make some plays. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. Got a bunch of emails I got to get to you as well. And there's a big signing this morning in the National Football League that is impactful. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Dirty Boys present.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
big statement is Florida State getting run 28-13. I mean, I think SC was a big deal, but with all the noise Florida State ran, and I think Florida State got hosed last year. I do. I said it then. They got left out of the playoff. They were an undefeated ACC champion. They got left out of the playoff. Then they got beat, 63-3 in the bowl game, and they've started out 0-2. How long does Mike Norvell last? Like, with what their expectations were and I don't know what his buyout is, but they got beat 28-13 at home by Boston College after getting beat by Georgia Tech and Ireland. Team that started the season number 10 in the nation, that was top 5 all year last year. That's not a patient fan base now.
Yeah, they didn't lose to Georgia and USC. Actually, Georgia Tech and Boston College, and in both games looked inept offensively and could not stop the run. They were dominated physically at the line of scrimmage. And you have Florida State and Florida that are ready to send their coaches packing on September 3rd. Florida got blued out the built by Miami in their house.
Warren wants to know, what do you think of the footy coverage on the CW this weekend, Jeffy? Did you watch any CW? What game was on CW?
Watched a lot of games.
Yeah.
Had a lot of multi-view going on. Didn't hit the CW action.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion, Bourne. I didn't see any. What did you think of it, Bourne? I don't have an opinion. All right, this morning, Trent Williams is in San Francisco, the 49ers left tackle. Evidently, he and the 49ers are finalizing a new deal, and his holdout will be over. This is according to his agency. There were social media reports this morning showing this 11-time Pro Bowler returning to the Bay Area. And so this 36-year-old is going to be in camp. He had been owed $20.05 million this season under his 6-year, $138 million deal. He wanted more, and the 49ers realized they need him, and so they found more money to give him. And it looks like he'll be in camp, and he got to camp. He's going to be with the team. Camp is over.
Yeah, it's one you take a step back, and in the moment, you're like, get this done. It's one of the best left tackles in a game. Just give him some guaranteed money for the next 2 years. Yes, he's 36 years old, but he's as important as anyone else on that offense to make room for Christian McCaffrey, to keep Brock Purdy upright in that passing game. And then you're like, oh, I can actually see why he would potentially give up some of that money, because he is 36 years old and probably didn't want to go through training camp.
Yeah, and he didn't have to. If you want to get in on other non-college football stuff, you can. The All-America Futurity was at Albuquerque Downs yesterday. If you and it was another great day. If you want to get in on that, you can. If you want to get on New Mexico United's loss, the Oakland Roots 1-0 over the weekend, you can. If you want to get in on Scotty Scheffler winning the FedEx Cup and $25 million, you're welcome to get in on that as well. And then the NFL starts in just 2 days, man. So everybody's draft is just about over. I got an auction draft tonight. But basically everybody's fantasy draft is ready. Now you're looking at like the weekly rankings, right?
Yeah. One thing I will say.
Yeah, say it.
Week 1, you're coming off a big draft weekend for a lot of people. Maybe you finish your 15th draft, or you really were able to hone in and focus on your big draft this past weekend. Keep it simple week 1. You drafted players in the first 8 to 9 rounds for a reason. Don't overthink it this week. Start the dude you drafted.
Start your studs. Stop playing matchups. Unless you drafted 2 quarterbacks. I got drafted Stafford and Goff, right?
Well, then you walked yourself into that. But for the most part, you should have a big enough difference
in quarterback.
But I can understand how you're looking at it. 16.5.
I've been there. I've been there a million times.
18-point projection. Yeah. Keep it simple. Week 1, you drafted these guys for a reason. Leave the overthinking for week
2. after you get beat. Text line 505-246-0610. It says, hey guys, I'm just as proud as anyone of La Cueva and what they did over the weekend down in Phoenix. Huge win. But what no one seems to be talking about is how their true colors represented Albuquerque, New Mexico when all was said and done. Has anyone mentioned how the Cueva kids ran to the Pinnacle sidelines showing off and talking bleep after the win? There's video on it. Makes us all look really bad. Next time, whether win or lose, show some class. I haven't seen the video. I heard about it. From what I understand, the Pinnacle kids were talking bleep the whole game. Like the whole game. And
you're telling me
high
school kids got a little over their skis at the end of the game.
After winning the game
the
like
coaching
that.
staff from those reports too immediately went over to address that, try to get their players.
Yeah.
There wasn't any fists being thrown. There wasn't helmets swung. Like
Yeah.
you can use it as a, all right, guys, let's be better moving forward. But to be like, oh, this needs to be part of the story now.
Look, man,
high school kids.
If I'm getting beat all night and these guys are just running it and talking crap to me all night, and I come back and I win in the end and I win that way, I might talk a little. Now, look, I haven't seen the video. I heard about the video. Have you seen it? They went over to the others.
Yeah, it's one where the coaches, you go over, right, you separate them so nothing happens. But listening to Cam Dyer, Mason posted this morning in the opening drive, those dudes do not sound like high school seniors. They sounded like they've been playing Division I football for a few years. Like I trust that the character, the leadership's good, and you get caught up in the moment sometimes.
Yeah.
You might decide to stomp on a logo, celebrate in front of some fans. Like if that's what grinds your gears, okay, but it definitely does not take away at all what those kids accomplished.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on it. I mean, did it embarrass you? I haven't seen it. Win or lose, show some class. I don't know. What, someone's in your ear talking the mess the whole game, and you end up winning, and you're on the road. I don't know. Travis says, have you guys seen as many targeting penalties get called as were called this week? So many injections. I don't know what the numbers were. I know there were prominent ones. Like the targeting at the end of the SC game, by the way, sealed that game. But it was the right call. I'm with you, JJ. I don't mind the personal foul penalty. I think targeting needs to be called. It's helped clean up the game. I hate the ejection. Lobos lost a key cog early in the game on the Friday. I think it was on the first series. I hate the fact that you're playing football, and I've said this a zillion times, and I'll say it more. Your head's got to go somewhere. And dudes moving at rapid rates of speed and their heads hit. And you look at, oh, yeah, that's targeting. Well, the head's got to go somewhere, man. And it's so easy to say, look up with your face mask. But, I mean, hit him with a penalty, but I don't think the first time should be an ejection.
No, I think they need to address this to be like an unsportsmanlike penalty, which after 2, you're ejected from the game. It's where there's, all right, you're making it a point of emphasis. Like, you don't want this happening. But not every targeting is an intentional act of trying to take someone out. There's just the game of football, because it hurts you so much. You have one, and the Lobos lost one of their starting linebackers in the first half from it. And I don't think any team should suffer that way just for the first one. If a guy's out there just leading with helmet the entire game, he gets caught a couple times, all right, you're gone. I think the first one is such a severe penalty to lose a player. I don't like that for the sport of college football.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Travis on the text line. No, this is John on the text line. Sorry. I think that's who it is. Yeah. Good Tuesday morning. Jeff Scotty Scheffler is a freaking machine. As I watched him go for 66 for the day. Awesome to watch and enjoy. Wow, this guy is so good. Our UNM Lobos, however, tough loss. Damn. Thanks from John in Duke City. You can hit us there, 505-246-0610, or emails jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, how's it feel to lose 20 in a row? JJ, they won 30 before they lost 100, and then this little historic bout.
Football is back, and it's time to get in the game with Underdog Fantasy. I had so much fun making my pick'em entries this past weekend. And yes, you can log in right now, because making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code JJBuck and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. What are we talking about? You can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player's stats. We're talking touchdowns, passing yards, and more. If you're focused on kicking off the season Thursday night, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, looking at those offenses, or if you want to get in the game right now, there is a fun one tonight. WNBA action, Chicago Sky, Las Vegas Aces. You can talk about Angel Reese, the rebounding streak she's on. She's going to go higher or lower. Asia Wilson, higher or lower when it comes to points. Put your entries together right now. That's Underdog Fantasy. AJ Buck to claim your new customer special with a free pick. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, paint, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver.
10 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
Then there's the other side. Watch a little history, I think. If you're watching it, anyway. Chicago White Sox lost a record 20th straight time in games in which Chris Flexen has started. I don't know if it's as much an indictment on him as it is on how bad they are. So they've lost 11 games in a row. 13-3, they got beat by the Orioles. But it's the 20th straight loss in which Chris Flexen has started. It's a modern baseball era. I mean, modern means since 1900. That's pretty modern. I don't know if it's an indictment off him, dude. I mean, they don't score runs. They're so bad. They're 0-10 on the homestand. 31 and 108 overall. Third longest skid of the season. They've lost 21 before. And I mean, they're so bad. But how do you... Oh, is this the worst team we've ever seen? The Mets were 40 and 120 in 1962. Right now, this team's 31 and 108. Are you rooting for them to be the worst ever? Because I kind of am.
It gets to a point where you almost have to.
Yeah.
Just keep rooting for the train wreck that is the Chicago White Sox, and they are one of the worst teams ever. Modern baseball, the things you have at your disposal, and how they've missed on everything.
Flexen's 2 and 14, by the way. I guess he's coming in relief a couple times, right? If he's 2 and 14, he must have got wins in relief. But they're on pace to finish 36 and 126. It would be the second most defeats ever behind the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. Of course you remember them. What was their logo? Cleveland Spiders. I bet it was cool. The White Sox are 4 and 41 in their past 45 games. That's the worst record over a 45-game span since the 1916 Philadelphia Athletics. I mean, I love the numbers. They are just brutal. Nobody's going. I mean, they're just. How's that a big league club? I get it. Somebody's got to be the worst, but you don't have to be that worst. You know what I mean?
You know, sometimes they say the best ability is availability.
Mm-mm.
I don't want to be available anymore from Chris Flexen.
No, my
arm hurts, my elbow hurts,
my ego's bruised. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really, really bad. Meanwhile, I mean, baseball's coming down the stretch now, and you do have some stuff to watch. There are some pennant races to watch. You've got, really interesting stuff at the top. Like the Yankees and Orioles are separated by a half a game in the American League East. Yankees are half game up. Cleveland's only 3.5 up on Minnesota, 4.5 up on Kansas City. The Astros are 6 up on Seattle, and so you got wild card races. Dodgers only 5 up on the Padres. So there's a lot of wild card races going on. And if the Mets are a half game out of a wild card spot. Padres and Diamondbacks have the top 2 in the National League. So you've got baseball to watch as your football gets started. So it's there. All right, 505-246-0610. Mike's in on Mega Buck La Cueva, Jeff Aluma. I guess my question would be, why are the worthless refs letting these teams chirp the entire game? I mean, guys chirp all the time. What are the refs going to do? Stop talking? Throw a flag all the time? I mean, it happens. It's sports, man.
And some of it, of course, was coming from the students.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No. Look, I guess I don't have a problem with an emotional victory on the road, getting talked at the whole game and showing some emotion at the end. I mean, you
please, I would like people to please write up your playbook of how people should act.
Yeah.
Because people get upset if you're too friendly after a game. Like these dudes, how dare they be high-fiving and jersey swapping and acting like friends with someone else? Well, then if you go after someone, they're like, well, that's disrespectful. Show some class.
Yeah, I don't.
All right. So
where's the book?
Play a game where you're going back and forth, emotions in it, and then just immediately flip the switch and say, "Good day, sir. Thank you very much. I shall see you later."
Yeah. Best of luck to you the rest of the season.
Nitpick everything.
Mm-hmm. Because we have too much damn time sometimes. I guess. I don't know. I want to hit this a little bit more because I don't know that we've given this enough time. The Mountain West declining to extend the scheduling agreement with Oregon State and Washington State. Is that a bigger signal to you than just not scheduling football? Oregon State and Washington State are holding out. Look, they got another year. They basically get 2 years to keep their league status to go up to the minimum teams. They've got all the money. They're holding out. They're hoping either the Big 12 or the ACC invite them. They don't want to play with the middle Mountain West teams, and they think they're better. And they got nowhere to go. The Mountain West was getting $14 million this year to schedule, right, to give them the 7-1 so they get these games. And I'm going to tell you, just informal conversations with a lot of coaches at Media Day, the coaches don't love this, right? Now, the ADs might because they get money. But the coaches in the Mountain West, we're not in love with this. And I don't know if they were, they voiced their opinion. I don't know if their opinion mattered. But they couldn't come to an agreement for next year. The Mountain West put out a statement yesterday. The football scheduling agreement with Oregon State and Washington State was a 1-year agreement. For the 2025 season, the Mountain West and its member institutions are moving forward with their conference and non-conference schedules. Our focus remains on the current season and our exceptional teams, end quote. Does it tell you more?
It does. I think it shows that there's not going to be this, what would seem simple, like, oh, just merge together and kind of try to restart a Pac Mountain whatever moving forward with these teams. To your point that Washington State and Oregon State still feel like they have something to hold on to that's bigger than the Mountain West Conference. Now, I liked the Mountain West did this. It was a good try. Have this scheduling agreement, see if you can build some relationships, and it also gives the Mountain West an opportunity to discuss and probe and see what is out there in the future. And yeah, coaches had to eat it a little bit for them to put it on the schedule, but it's what you have to do. And this time is take some chances, have some opportunities open up to you. And when you talk about how everyone feels after the fact, then it's not surprising that it's not happening again.
So the Pac-12 or Oregon State and Washington State have 2 years to reach 8 teams, minimum of 8 teams in a league, to fulfill NCAA regulations, right? So they could have joined the Mountain West. They could get as much residual money as possible and then join. The Pac-12 has a commissioner. Her name is Teresa Gould. She oversees these 2 schools and is trying to keep her league together. Her quote was this: I don't know if the Mountain West thinks they need these 2 schools, honestly. I would imagine if and when these conversations ever take place, it's going to be based in part on the economics of the decision and what they bring to the table. There's so much riding on that in terms of future media rights, recruiting decisions, and all those things, end quote. Who is they in this? She says what they bring to the table. Who's she talking about? I mean, I think she's right in her statement when she says, I don't think the Mountain West thinks they need these 2 schools, honestly. JJ, I'm going to tell you there's a number of brands in this league, in the Mountain West, that believe that on their own they are more valuable than Oregon State or Washington State. Boise State absolutely believes that. San Diego State believes that. I think Air Force believes that, and Colorado State probably believes that. And you can tell me they're all wrong. Some of them are wrong. It'll be tested. But there are brands, just because you were in the Pac-12, you were in an autonomous 5 league, you are not anymore, and there's a reason you are not. And I'm wondering who's overvaluing themselves. Is it the Mountain West? And I love the bold move the Mountain West has done. I love them saying, you know what, we don't need you. If you're not going to, and I don't know what the details of this deal were, but you don't want to come to the table and it doesn't work. And I don't know if it was the coaches saying, we just don't want to do this anymore. It doesn't make sense for us. Whatever it happened to be, I mean, you're only playing 7 league games, JJ.
Initially, it was the right move.
I agree with that.
Try something to see what could happen. The relationship, could this morph into something bigger? Could you absorb those teams, kind of try to establish yourself as the Western Conference? Because, yeah, you have schools in the West, but they're associated with the Big Ten. The Big 12 is still, in I think people's minds, viewed as a Mid-America conference. So you have to take steps. You have to take chances. I like that they did it. And then you come to a fact where you can't keep bending over backwards for those 2 schools. And if they're undecisive and your football coaches do say, hey, we don't want to have to do this again, if it's not going anywhere, if it's not leading to a conference, it's not helping us in conference, then
what are we doing?
You move on.
Yeah. What are we doing? If it's not helping us, then what is it that we're doing? Oh. Well, I think initially, and certainly people around here were saying, okay, let's hope this just leads to a merger. And you can call it the Pac-12 and add those 2 schools and move on. But if nothing is simple, first of all. Nothing is simple. And that certainly is not. So it'll be interesting to watch that. But that went down over the last couple of days. And I don't know how you feel about it. You know, Washington State's coming in this year, but it's going to be a one-year deal, evidently. And look, it could still get worked out. They could figure something out. Although this is about time where they start scheduling next year. 505-246-0610, if you still have time to get in this morning. I'm going to wrap up everything you need to know as you go through your Tuesday that feels like a Monday when we get back. And you still have time to get in. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. I'm going to tell you about On the Spot Automotive Detailing again because they detail my vehicle. They come to the office and detail my vehicle. You're like, Jeff, how do they do that? You know, they got this mobile unit. It goes out, and while you're working, while you're busy, because you don't have the time to get out there, they detail your vehicle. That means, like, remember when you took it off the lot, how clean, how fresh, how fun it was to drive? Inside, outside, under the seats and hood and all those places you don't get. That's what they do. And they do it at your convenience. It's a great gift. If you're looking for that gift that somebody would love and doesn't buy for themselves, think about On the Spot Automotive Detailing. And if you're thinking about window tint, call them as well because they are certified 3M dealers, so they have the best product on the market. Best in the city because, well, they're best in the city. That's why they won that award. Call them. See what they're all about. The number's 505-859-2859, or you can book and buy online at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Seriously? Buckle up. Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Diego Pavia has been named the SEC Offensive Player of the Week after leading Vanderbilt to an overtime victory over Virginia Tech in their season opener. Trent Williams appears to have ended his holdout. He and the 49ers are finalizing a deal for the left tackle for the 49ers to be ready for the opening game, which is coming up this weekend. And last night, Florida State got beat by Boston College 28-10. The 10th ranked Seminoles are 0-2 to start the season. Over the weekend, New Mexico United lost on the road to Oakland Roots 1-0. The Cuevas football team went on the road to Arizona and beat Pinnacle, the defending 6A Arizona runners-up, 39-32 in overtime. They were down 25-10 with 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go. Had a good conversation with Cam Dyer and Mason Posa of La Cueva. If you missed it or would like to listen to it again, it's wherever you get your podcast, or go to our website, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the opening drive, and you can hear that conversation. I thought it was a pretty good one, and not because of us, but because of them. A couple other things. Jamar Chase is holed out. This is interesting, JJ. Jamar Chase is the stud receiver for the Bengals. He's got 2 years left on his rookie deal. He's going into his third season. Day-to-day, not practicing. Didn't want to speculate to the coach, Zach Taylor, on how much he would play this weekend, given his lack of reps. Dude, I don't even know. Does he suit up this weekend?
This has been a lot changed since like last Wednesday, when Zach Taylor was like, yeah, we're happy to have him back. He's going to practice. Next day, he's like, whoa, we're still working on some things. And all of a sudden, Zach Taylor, head coach of the Bengals, we're taking it day by day. And Jamar Chase, you said 2 years left on his deal, is going into year 4. And NFL owners do a lot of things. One thing the Bengals owner isn't going to do is renegotiate with a wide receiver with 2 years left on his deal. And this is something I'm sure the rest of the league doesn't want to see. Going into your last year, yeah, that's when things get done. We saw it with CeeDee Lamb and some of these other guys with 2 years left on a rookie contract. You already have an owner that the Bengals are frugal, and they already paid a boatload for Burrow because we have to do that for a quarterback. But the other positions, they're not going to do it, especially early. And this one is concerning from a standpoint of Jamar Chase is really not focused. The other guys, we all saw a path to it getting figured out. The Ike one was a little dicey, but really this is the quiet one that all of a sudden is the loudest because it's game week, and who knows if that dude's gonna put on pads.
Would you? I mean, you're kind of leaning the other way, aren't you?
I am in this moment.
Yeah. All right. This also happened over the weekend, and we haven't talked about this. The Niners have put Ricky Pearsall on the reserve non-football injury list. Ricky Pearsall was their first pick in the draft. He's a receiver. He was shot in the chest during a robbery attempt in San Francisco over the weekend. This was down near Union Station. A 17-year-old male tried to rob him. They struggled. The gun went off. His mom, Pearsall's mom, said the bullet entered his chest, exited his back, and missed all his vital organs. He was in serious but stable condition at the hospital over the weekend. It's just an insane story. An insane story. He was out signing autographs, and he went to the store, and there was a robbery attempt. And they say they don't believe he was targeted because he was a football player. It was just a robbery attempt in broad daylight in San Francisco. The fact that this young man, A, wasn't killed, and B, more seriously injured, and look, I'm not downplaying his injuries. He got shot, a bullet went through his chest and out his back, and somehow missed everything, is miraculous.
it's amazing. And then the video that surfaced on social media that he was holding his chest and he walked to the ambulance.
I mean, that's a man.
Like, the fact that you get shot and you avoid is like, it's a serious injury, but you're out of the hospital. Like, I'm sure like he's just sitting here going right now, man, I can't wait 5 weeks from now if I'm cleared to play football.
Yeah. I mean, he might be or he might not be, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, in the big scheme, right? I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't matter in the big scheme. The fact that this young man is alive, that is even considering that he might play football again after what happened is bonkers to me. It really is. Let me give you this, and who might be next man up. I don't want to say beneficiary of this. I gave you a name about 3 weeks ago of a guy who might be a rookie receiver that comes out of nowhere. I'm not telling you to draft him, but keep an eye on him. Jacob Cowing from Arizona, who played at UTEP, was also drafted by the Niners and now moves up a notch on their depth chart. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings is hurt. Jacob Cowing may get some balls there.
Yeah, especially if he can make potential impacts in the return game. So you're valuable on special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself on the field. And we know that if you can show playmaking ability, Kyle Shanahan's going to scheme in the offense.
Do I want to do this? I guess if I'm asking, I should say no, right? Isotopes they're on the road today, right? Where are they this week? They are in Tacoma. And then they come home for their final homestand I believe it's their final homestand next week. But this is from Gene, not even Albuquerque's AAA franchise. Basically, it's a long email. He doesn't have the Jerry Lewis telephone. He thinks the Lobos should be playing Labor Day weekend, that it should be a tradition because the U.S. Open doesn't do anything for him. The other football isn't good. He thinks they should be playing Monday. And other people have, I mean, there's like two hardcore thoughts on this, and neither one of them happen. That they should just make a tradition and always play at home on Monday, or they should vacate the premises and get out of here on Labor Day weekend. And neither one of them have proven to be. They've never played on Monday. But he had nothing to do. He didn't get to watch the Jerry Lewis telethon. He didn't like the meaningless Major League Baseball games. Isotopes weren't home. He didn't like the golf, and the U.S. Open does nothing for him. So he wanted Lobo football. Do you think Gene would have gone if there was Lobo football yesterday?
I question if any of these people are real.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just figments of our imagination. Characters.
Fair enough.
That live in the email world.
Mm-hmm. Harold wants to talk about Lobo volleyball. Jeff, with August and September scheduled this week, you want to rack up clean sheets. Didn't happen this weekend. It was ugly. Thank goodness for those C-level Tulane girls. When the game started at 9:30 a.m., they were tugging on their shorts by 10 or they would have beaten the Lobos. Okay? We've talked Lobo volleyball. The early season stuff. All right, what do I get tonight? I get a fantasy auction draft tonight.
Have some fun.
Auction draft tonight. It's a salary cap kind of an auction thing. You get some Major League Baseball. Oh, did you catch? I know you didn't. I was on the plane and I was watching a little of the U.S. Open and Caroline Wozniacki's match yesterday where she lost. A young lady from Brazil, first Brazilian to reach the quarterfinals in like 53 years. There were some amazing points in that. This about the time. Like the U.S. Open is really good. And the athleticism there, I know it gets lost in the mainstream consciousness sometimes, but it's really good. And like if you're kicking around and you catch it, if you still get ESPN, if you don't have DirecTV. No, honestly, don't look at me like that. Thanks to Cam Dyer, Mason Posa from La Cueva. They were with us today. Tony Sanchez, New Mexico State's football coach, was with us as well. If you missed any of those, they are available via podcast. You can go to our website, sportsanimalabq.com. Click on the opening drive, and you can get it there. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. Two Men On comes in at 4 in the Isotopes in Tacoma tonight. We're back tomorrow morning with Award Ring Radio. We'll start it at 7 a.m. Adrian looks great, always does. Glad you're back after a long weekend. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, boys and girls. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. Smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order